We've done the whole autism route, and I think I left a comment on All Seeing Eyes video, and I said the only reason why we're on about the walking, talking mess. Yes, Venice. Yeah, so good to see you over again. Thank you, the observer. Yeah, and I just feel like we're going round in the same cycle again. Um, but I suppose I should be a professional and show you the video, really, shouldn't I? That would be a good thing. You've missed my lives, Victor. I know I haven't been live in a little bit. I haven't been live in a little bit. I take time out. I think Joshy needs a time out. Mm. To be fair, considering what we're about to witness again, yeah, he's stuck on rinse and repeat. Yeah, um, considering what we go through on a daily basis, and I think I saw a video earlier. I don't think I've got this one liked or saved or whatever, but I saw a video yesterday. I think this was. Um, yeah, just like they backtrack saying that the appointment on April 30th isn't hormones when it before it was. Yes, Venice, exactly. Yeah, because that's another thing we're going to get into as well. Um, so that was it. I saw a video the other day, and they were going on about their skin condition again. I don't want this to sound horrible, but maybe it's because you wear the same t-shirt and sleep in the same t-shirt and dresses for days at a time. That may be why. Morning, puppy. Good morning, Leon. They think they are famous now being on Big Brother. Oh, I saw the Big Brother thing. I keep on seeing that, and yeah, that's another whole thing. Yeah, and don't wash daily, use cheap ash shampoo, etc. Yeah, that can be a thing, yeah. And dry dishes with the same t-shirt. Yes, thank you for the heart, Leon. Yes, Nate, I saw that. I was like, oh, why not use a dishcloth or like a towel, like a dish towel? I've got one that's constantly attached to the door. Well, not constantly. Obviously, you have to take it out and wash it. But, oh, why? I don't understand why they did that. Don't understand that. But yeah, so this is he talks about autism and takes no accountability, so blames Jack. I cannot understand why they constantly blame Jack for everything. Why? Jack, like, as far as what I see, Jack isn't. Oh, but it's all. But yeah, so. I had a few things to say about this one.
I'm gonna get some actual, like, professional advice with that, to be honest, because
They're gonna get professional advice. Hey, Mrs. Doyle. Jack is smashing life. He definitely is. He was saying that dirty green dress to dry. Yeah, they were, yeah. They blame everyone else. They are using things. They really are. There is this thing called the victim mentality. Hang on. Because I was going to do it for somebody else. But, so the victim mentality. I might post this actually. What is it called when someone is always the victim? It's called the victim mentality. Is when a person feels like a victim even when there is evidence, because there's evidence, that says otherwise. It can affect all types of relationships. Signs can vary but may include blaming others and not taking responsibility for one's own actions. I was going to do that for somebody else, but I might just post it and put it in a. Are you in any way okay? Yeah. I'm good. I haven't been live in a while, Lee, so I'm doing okay. But I do think he does need professional help.
I think it's better to, get an official diagnosis if I do have it, and then
You can't just get it. Like it's not like collecting Pokemon cards. You can't just get it. It's not something you can catch, okay? No, I do post other things. But it's not like collecting Pokemon cards. But what see, you posted your medical records for everyone to see. And in those medical records, nowhere does it say any of this, is what we're about to say. It's not like you. It's not something you can catch.
and once I do, then I won't be as counselled for that,
But again, you yourself have done this. You yourself went to not Britain's Got Talent, Autism's Got Talent, and said you have a diagnosis. You said that, not Jack, you. You did this. You're the one that posted your medical records that showed you've been for no diagnosis. So if you want to get that diagnosis, get that diagnosis. But again, you want to come onto the internet and blame everything on. That's the only reason why you want a diagnosis, because we've been through autism, we've been through Tourette's, we've been through ADHD, now we're back to autism. The only reason why you want any of these diagnoses, more than one, is so that you can be like, you can't come at me because I'm autistic. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. You're still going to be called out for your bad behavior. You're still going to be called out for going on Autism's Got Talent. I keep wanting to say Britain's Got Talent. Autism's Got Talent. Lying and saying you have a diagnosis. It's on their website. It's on their website that you did that. Nobody asked you to do that. You did that. And you want to blame Jack for everything. No, Alphabet, you did that. And then you continued after that fact to turn around and say that you went at, not autism mums, you went at parents who have autistic children because they called your ass out, and then you went at them. Like, the reason why you want these diagnoses is so that you can be like, well, you can't come at me. That's not how this works. You get called out for your bad actions, whether you have an autism diagnosis or not, whether you have an ADHD diagnosis or not. Doesn't matter. You do fucked up shit on the internet. Guess what? People are going to call you out for that.
It wasn't necessarily a malicious thing. It was actually because
Okay, it wasn't malicious. What you did after that fact is, though. The fact that you came at people after that fact and people corrected you, that is you. That was with malicious intent. And again, you're doing this again to be like, well, you can't come at me. That's not how this works. People are still going to call you out for it.
I knew he saw a letter, we went on, because I was potentially autistic.
Right. Again, you were the one that released your medical records for everyone to see. As someone that has multiple things, when I get my medical, no matter what I do, everything is listed. Everything. You put your medical records out, and it listed things way back to when you were first born. Nowhere in there did it say anything about autism. So this magic letter You did that, Alphabet. Nobody asked you to do that. You were doing it to prove one point, but it proved another. It proved that you have no diagnosis. You haven't even been seen to be diagnosed, because you have been seen to be referred to a gender clinic back in 2023. That was shown. So if that's shown, how come there's this magic letter that you keep on throwing about, and your mum did a questionnaire and all this stuff and CAMHS and all this shit? That would have been listed, and it isn't. As someone that has a very extensive medical record, as does everyone has a medical record, and everyone can ask for those medical records, what medications you're on, this, that, and the other. You can ask for that, and you can go to a GP and get it. You're the one that posted it, so therefore everything that's listed is there. Nowhere in there did it say anything about this. And you're the one that posted it. We didn't ask you to post it. You're the one that posted it. You did that, Alphabet. You did that.
So he looked at a letter. He knew I went through the assessments. I feel like if he knew I wasn't on going through any of that, we won't go on the show. But
again, you're blaming Jack for it. You're the one that decided to go on the show. And considering how much you do it, and how much you want to be a star, because you want on Celebrity Big Brother, which, by the way, you want to talk about social anxiety in one of the clips I saw. Social anxiety. Really? Really now? Okay. See, this is the problem. Hey, Sal. This is the problem. You come onto the internet and claim all these diagnoses and all these medical things, and yet you're coming across other people who also have those things or have been diagnosed with those things, and you don't like the fact that people are going, no, you're full of shit. She'll be made to go out to work on the new benefit system. Well, Tommy, that's another thing, yeah.
I think, because he saw a letter of it, what assessment, so it was through CAMHS, HS, I went through the assessment with my...
But again, that's not shown on your medical records. You say this, but you're the one that showed your medical records.
Mum had to fill out lots of forms as well. Questionnaire. She got asked questions about my behaviour when I was little, things like that. It was like that.
Right, you are now 21. CAMHS ends at 18. CAMHS ends at 18. You are now 21. Years down the line, you're going to have to be reassessed again. You're going to have to be reassessed. And you say that you want professional advice. You're sitting here on a live stream talking about it. Go to your GP then. And again, in my estimation, from what I've seen of what you do, the only reason why you, yourself, want a diagnosis is for you to go, look, see? That doesn't prove shit. Morning, Mantra 7. I don't know whether they are in homeless accommodation. I don't know if they are or not. I mean, that's not for me to decide, but if they are, then obviously people are upset as to that, but I don't know whether they are in homeless accommodation. I don't know whether they are.
But yeah, I wasn't malicious. I just hope you know that, and I am sorry if I offended anyone with autism, because it isn't my intention to be...
Your intention was for you to go, I'm autistic, so you can't come at me. That was your intention. That is what your intention has been all along. You want an excuse for your bad, disgusting, toxic behavior, which sets the communities back. And you don't realize that, or you do realize that and you don't care. Hey, Mel. You do realize it and you don't care.
be malicious. It was just, like, just not feel under pressure by the public, and I wasn't used to a
Not feeling the pressure by the public. You're the one that came on and said it. You're the one that went on Autism's Got Talent. Nobody makes you do these things. Like right now, nobody is making me do a live stream discussing this. Nobody makes you do things.
platform at the time, so I didn't actually understand how big of a platform I had. I had like 500,000 followers back then still, and it may be too late for sorry, of course, you know, I understand that.
You don't understand that though, because you are bringing this up again. If you want to get a formal diagnosis, Alphabet, then go and get a formal diagnosis. However, what you have done since then, so my PC's been weird. Alright, for some reason something's loading. Hang on. Why is that loading now? I'm having some technical issues. Hang on. Why is that loading? Oh, I have for some reason Steam is loading, and I don't know why. That was weird. Honestly, this episode of Black Mirror is genius. LOL, letting us all watch it in real time. Oh, I have not seen Black Mirror yet. I haven't seen it yet. Your son was referred age 23 by previous GP to freaking child services. New GP reference the game to adult. Really, Sal? Damn. Like, I know, I'm gonna have to close it. No, I want to close it down. There we go. We're living it, Josh, with... I know, right? We're just, I don't... If you want to get a diagnosis, E, then go and do it. Stop talking about it and go and do it.
But I was 17, I was 18 years old. I'm 21 now. Like, I wouldn't do shit like this.
You are doing it, though. You wouldn't do shit like this. You are doing it. And you continue to do it. Day in and day out. Yeah, formal complaint gone into previous GP. Yeah, well, I hope that complaint goes through, because you know what GPs are like.
You know, it's kind of like, and that's not an excuse.
It is an excuse. You constantly say it's not an excuse, but you are using it as an excuse. So we're doing the whole autism thing again, and it's driving me nuts. It's not an excuse, and you can't keep on blaming Jack for everything. Oh, Jack was the one that made me do it. No, you did it, Alpha. That you did it. Jack didn't make you do it. You did it yourself, because Jack's come forward, I believe, and said that you're a liar. And I've seen a clip of Jack's own mother come forward and say how bad it was to live with you. You can't keep on blaming Jack for everything. You're the one that decided to go on the show. You're the one that then decided after the fact, because there are clips of it, to go at autistic parents because they came forward and called your ass out, and then you came at them. You can't keep on blaming Jack for everything.
For a diagnosis.
And this is the E talks about gender GP again. The end is the best about the truth.
Well, gender GP said I had gender dysphoria. I don't know if that's a diagnosis.
Yes. For somebody, right, for somebody that claims to be an advocate, because you've said that yourself, Alphabet, an advocate for the trans community, you should know gender dysphoria is a diagnosis. Morning, busy. I love how successful and happy Jack is. You just know it's ruining it. Yeah, I know, yeah. Jack is doing well from what I saw. But yes, gender dysphoria is a formal diagnosis. Yes. But you should know that. You should know that, E. I know that. Oh my God.
So I was in a consultation and they said, yeah, you have gender dysphoria. We're going to put you on hormones.
They would
Put you on hormones.
They would
Put you on hormones.
They would Huh? Can anyone hear me? Because apparently my connection went. Thank you for the rose. Apparently my connection went then. You're back. Yes, sorry. I don't know what happened then. That was weird. That was strange. That's good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Hey. That's good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Hey. On Earth?
Have you got gender dysphoria?
Apparently I had a connection issue then. That's strange. Anyway. Yes, I'm human. So what was I saying? Gender dysphoria is a formal diagnosis, yes. And as somebody that is trans or a trans advocate, as Alphabet says they are, they should know that gender dysphoria is a formal diagnosis. Wild to me.
Diagnosis because
I need to get to where I'm about to.
Well, they said well, Gender GP said I had gender dysphoria. I don't know if that's a diagnosis. So I was in a consultation and they said, yeah, you have gender dysphoria. We're going to put you on hormones.
They wouldn't though. This is the thing. As someone that has done the research, because they had their blood test on April 2nd, this is where logically, why would you have a blood test done before a psych evaluation? Typically, you have the mental health assessment and then the blood test. This is where I don't think the blood test before was to do with gender clinic. Because why would they do that? If you fail the psych evaluation, why would they then put you through a blood test first to then do that? It doesn't make logical sense, and they wouldn't just put you on hormones. And we've had this discussion before. You're not just going to instantly be put on hormones. That's not how this works. That's not how this works, E. You're going to have psych evaluations and stuff like that done first. Then blood tests. Then, if they deem it okay, for you to be put on hormones. You can't just... This is the reason why people are calling you a liar. Because look at what you're doing. Logically, none of this makes sense. You can't just instantly be put on hormones.
And they told me like they were going to put, because back then they were going to put me on blockers called finasteride.
I call it finasteride, but...
finasteride, which isn't a blocker, it's actually a hair loss treatment.
It's both. It's actually both. You need to read a book. Google is free, Alphaba. Google is free. Google's a free resource. It's both a hormone blocker and hair loss treatment. It's both. And if you've done any ounce of research, you would know that. The connection. The connection doesn't like me today. Yes, he will make up something on April 30th. Oh, I'm sure. April 30th is going to be interesting. My connection does not like me today. E thinks E has all the information without reading anything. E makes up their own truth in their own head. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that too, yeah. Apparently they got scammed, which, again, we're going down that road again. We've done autism, now we're doing this. It's like, oh my god.
Notice how my story's never changed, because it's true. So
your story constantly changes. You have a digital footprint, E. Your story constantly changes. Constantly change. We can go right the way back to just before. Yeah, the 30th is going to be interesting.
If you notice something doesn't change, that means it's true. I hope you know that. That's reassurance for you. Because I always will tell you the truth. I promise you that.
No, you're not. You're a liar. You're a liar. You've scammed hundreds of thousands of pounds off people. And your story doesn't your story changes depending on who you can blame. Autism, it's Jack. Your transition, it's Gender GP. You always find somebody else to blame. Well, guess what? If you are not in that fucking GP or in that shit on April 30th, guess what? You have nobody else to blame. Gender GP, can't blame them. You can't blame Jack. You can't blame anyone but you.
I mean it. I'll look you right now. From now on, I'm always telling you the truth. I always will.
You're always telling the truth. Okay. Okay. You're always telling the truth, except when it comes to your autism diagnosis, because guess what? You released your medical records and it showed you've had no referrals. None. There is one for not Gender GP, for a gender clinic. There's a referral there in 2023. But again, you don't lie. Okay. Okay.
Am I nervous for my appointment? Yeah, I am. But not as nervous as I used to be. Like, I'm just tired now, I just want to... I'm also like...
Yeah, I think we're tired as well. The 30th, say, is for vocal training, not hormones. Oh, well, they've changed their story there. First it was for hormones, now it's for vocal training. I think they've been vocally training for God knows how long.
Have you got genetic warrior diagnosis? Because
Okay.
and
We're going to be talking about bullying soon. Did I not see Jack is starting his testosterone on the 30th? I was like, yeah, I saw that too, yeah. He has 15 days to come up with an excuse slash lie. Well, I'm sure they're going to come up with one. I'm pretty sure. So, this is from Alphabet Awareness. And this was posted 16 hours ago. I put once again blaming their bad behaviors on everyone else. They bully women all the time, so is that learned behavior then, E? I meant to put learned behavior, but where I thought was hormones, then a general star appointment, and now vocal for fuck's sake story is never consistent. No, Finis, it really isn't. So this is all about bullying. You ready? You ready for Alphabet's thing about bullying?
and like villains are not born, they're made.
Apparently villains are born. Hey Shazzy, villains are born. No, villains are made, not born. Other way around. Villains are made, not born. Okay. Then you can't blame your mom and your... Well, yeah, you can't blame other people for your bad behavior then, E. If villains are made, not born.
You're selfish.
I mean, E is selfish. You think Alpha needs some time in a cozy white room in a straitjacket? I mean, yeah, I can certainly see that. I can certainly see that.
I guess I've been selfish since I was a born child then. Right.
Wasn't, but wait, what? Okay.
No, it's the bullying. It's the bullying I faced, and it's made
It's the bullying you face. Okay. Hey, E, you do realise all of us get bullied. It's just a fact of life. People aren't going to shove a cushion under your ass every 5 seconds. It's not going to happen.
made me out to be a monster myself. Sometimes.
People don't make you out to be a monster. People use your words and what you say and have people have a reaction to it. Yeah, I think an old school friend did say he was the bully at school. Yeah, they used to say that he used to throw Bibles at people.
I'm so defensive when I get bullied. I am so defensive. We started from
They're so defensive. Okay.
primary school, and that's how it is. If people treated me nicer when I was a child, I probably wouldn't.
If people treated... Fuck me. If people treated me nicer when I was a child... Okay. Oh, God. Okay.
Have that kind of behaviour now. I will say this: villains are not born; they're made. And if you want to call me a villain, go right ahead. Guess I am.
Because we're now going to blame our childhoods. But okay. You see, this is the difference between other people and you. All of us got bullied during school. All of us did. It's just a fact of life. Kids can be cruel. And I'm not going to then take it out on the fucking everyone because I was bullied in school.
Things are learned.
You mean like your bad behavior and your disgusting actions towards people? Where did you learn it then?
I think, do you know what? I think we're programmed. So when we're in school,
Oh, thank you, Joel. We're programmed. This is a weird way to take it, but okay, we're programmed in school. Okay.
I think we're programmed, and this is ridiculous, but I think socially we're programmed to bully as we grow up.
We're socially programmed in school to bully as we grow up. No. Maybe if you were taught right from wrong, you're doing the hurt people scenario to justify your actions and how you treat other people. It's called manipulation, E. You might want to look it up. Yeah, Barbara says, I was bullied at school. Made me a kinder person to others nowadays. Yeah, exactly, Barbara. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't do that lesson in school either.
Think about it. Oh, someone doesn't like you. Oh, and imagine like now in the daytime, like in the adult life we live, still happens. Bullying doesn't.
Yeah, well, very much well aware that's the reason why you have workplace bullying, and also people tend to get more malicious as they get older because they're more secretive to it.
And it's learned. It's a learned behaviour. And it's a very popular behaviour in schools.
So where's your excuse then? Where did you learn it? Because you bully people constantly, all the fucking time. So no, Shazza, I have not seen that one. I've seen a few different things, but I haven't seen that one.
Which puts that into your brain, and some people grow up with that kind of shit, and then they also have really tough times at home. Then they become, you know, it was very triggering.
Okay. This is a weird way to take things, but okay.
I'm just very fucking blunt, and if you can't take that, don't worry.
No. See, this is where, when people revert that back to you, your answer is, I'm just fucking blunt. No, you're a bully. If it works for us, who call your ass out and you're calling everyone a bully, then guess what? That also works for you. We're just going to go with, we're blunt. If it works for you and you're just a blunt person, then guess what? That also works for somebody like me. I'm also a very blunt person. I know how to sugarcoat things, but most of the time I can't be asked. But okay.
Watch me. You know, that's just how it is, babe. If you can't endure the noise in the kitchen, get out of the kitchen. That's what I say.
Says the person who literally comes on live stream crying because someone has an opinion on you. Okay.
That's Pete Burns, sad once.
Uh,
But not brave in person, though.
Someone's put in the chat, stop ignoring me. Aww.
See, this is another learnt behaviour. It's all very playground.
Don't try and do psychology, E, because it's not your forte. I wouldn't try and do psychology. because it's not your forte, and what you're saying about other people, also, you are that person. You are the bully. You keep on saying you were bullied in school, yet you come on a platform and constantly bullied women, constantly.
How many adults like watching me have maturity in their head and
How many adults have maturity? Well, that depends on who you ask.
they're listening to what I'm saying? You get me? Like, you get what I'm saying? You're saying, oh, you can't say this in real life. That is so playground. It's unbelievable.
You can't do what in real life?
It's like watching me have maturity in their head and they're listening to what I'm saying. You get me? Like, you get what I'm saying? You're saying, oh, you can't say this in real life. That is so
You can't say this in real life. Well, no, because we've seen you. We've seen you and how you behave in real life. You cower. Which, that's a fair reaction. Because you're all mouth on live, but when somebody confronts you, like when Natasha confronted you, you back away and cower and go to the police. So...
You say that as playground behaviour. For real. And also, us as...
You're not mature though. Hey E, you know when you turned around and said and screamed at the screen recorders for show the chat? We're seeing the chat. You're not mature though. We're mature, you're not though. You wanted us to see the chat, so we are. Yeah, so Cocky behind the scenes. Yeah, exactly. That was a great video. E hiding and running away from Natasha. Yeah, Mel, exactly. So it's just like, it says it doesn't use filters, but look when it was on Celebrity Big Brother. Yeah, Gemma, a lot of people have said that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using filters. I've used a filter or two, but there's nothing wrong with using filters, but you can clearly see that E is very insecure.
We have to gather up.
Wait, what was that about anxiety?
For real.
For real.
And also, us society, we have to...
Oh, society, not anxiety. Society. Us as a society. I thought they said anxiety. No. Us as a society. Okay.
gather up in groups to bully someone. You know? That... And the people that...
You, the other day, turned around and said, everyone go fight for me. On a live stream, you were crying and turned around and said, I want people to come and, you know, fight for me. My chat go out there into other people's comment sections. I want to see that in comment sections. So you can't turn around and say this about society grouping bullying when you yourself have sent your minions to other people's chats. You've done that yourself. Fucking hell.
are different. They don't need someone to stand up for themselves. They do.
Says the person who literally cried on live stream and said, people go into other people's chats. I want to see people in chats defending me. How can you say this with a fucking straight face, knowing full well what you've said previously?
Do it themselves. High ground. Bully people in gangs, and you do it to people.
No, people have a collective and look at you as a bad person. People see you for what you are, which is a bad, horrible person because of your actions. Because of your actions. I can do clicking noises too, love. Just the fucking the joke of this. I would love to meet them face to face. I'm in a wheelchair, but I would still have a jaw law. I'm sure that would be an interesting one. They'd still cower though. I'm blocked to now and is turning against them. I wonder if they weren't. Would it be the same? Well, that's very, very true, yeah. Just wild to me. Bullies, everyone's a bully. Playground. You behave like a playground child yourself. You know, the stupid noises that you make, the copying CLA. You did the playground shit yourself. So, it's just wild.
Absolutely go for it. I will stand on my own.
What was all this truth telling last night? So confused. Well, Kim, this is it apparently. This is all of us.
I'd rather do that. You know, because I know what the game is with the fucking world and how society works.
You know how the world works and how society works, but you don't know how fucking hormones work. Okay? But you know how society works. You mean people call your bad behavior out? There is a subsection on social media called commentary. People do commentary. If you stopped trying to do what you do and blame everything on everybody else and everything else, people wouldn't have anything to say. Oh, but everyone is a school bully, even though they've become a school bully. There was something else. I don't know whether I liked it or not. And I think because what's this guy's name? Hang on. Daniel. Daniel James is offering Alphabet out for a fight every day. Actually inviting their chat to meet them in the pub. Ooh. That would be an interesting experience if they did go to the pub. And I also think what's this person?
I believe this.
Common Sense Talk. Common Sense Talk has also been calling. I think what Alphabet can't handle is other people having an opinion on them. Fancy a road trip, Shazzy. This is what I mean, though. Alphabet says about social anxiety. Alphabet, I haven't left this house since February. I never said last year, since February. That was when I went down to Birmingham to see my friends. I've not left this house. So you want to talk about this is what I mean when I turn around and say, you've met your match. People call your ass out because guess what? We do suffer with the legitimate conditions that you say you have. Watching their phones. What? Oh wait, a 13-year-old was in E's live yesterday and E said their parents should be watching their phones. Well, this is where, I mean, my stuff's always set on 18 plus. You can turn that off, by the way, but mine's always set to 18 plus. Did anyone? Yeah, I saw E drying their dishes. But like, this is where what Alphabet has done is Alphabet has set herself up to fail, basically, because people are, the way Alphabet behaves and the way Alphabet is, people are gonna do, you know, they've created a childlike friendly audience is what they've done. Gemma, wasn't it? I didn't see the name. I just know that it happened. But like, should there be a push on parents? Possibly. But as someone that grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. I've been on. It was TV back then, but Footballers' Wives and Bad Girls, technically that's 18, maybe 15 age rating, depending on the show. Wait, hang on. Was that actually? Was that actually? Bad Girls cast. I don't want the cast. There was a good TV show. That ran for 8 seasons? Really? Damn, what age rating was that though? Doesn't say. TV series age rating. If we just put age rating, it might tell me. But I used to watch these shows growing up. The TV series Bad Girls is generally rated TV 14. This indicates that it contains material that can be unsuitable for children under 14. I was watching it no. It was in 1999, so I would have been just on the cusp, I think. But I still watched it though. Bad Girls, Footballers' Wives. It was, but on after 9, yes, the Watershed, yeah. Because that was it. The 9 o'clock was the Watershed time, wasn't it? For teenagers, at least. But I didn't know that was rated 14. I thought it was rated older. Hey, the Fallen One. He never had social anxiety. My son has it and can't leave the house. Yeah, Mel. I've got really bad social anxiety. I do it, but it's a push. Hey, Kirsten. Hello. Hello. How's my Kirsten doing? Causing trouble. Is Kirsten causing trouble? I also have social anxiety paired with agoraphobia. Agoraphobia, sorry, I said that wrong. It's really like, yeah. What? Yes, you Kirsten causing trouble. Good morning, Josie. I've had a night out. Haven't had a night out. I've not had a night out in years because of social anxiety. Right. I generally like to have the last night club I went out to was year and a half ago, I think. Did you hear yesterday when he said social anxiety when you're social but have anxiety? I mean, is he wrong? Not sure. Like, social anxiety usually means, yes, it can mean that, but also it's also you have to like mentally prepare to have social situations. That's how I view things anyway. Like I tend to have to prepare. But hang on, Bad Girls was rated 14, but what about Footballers' Wives? Because I'm sure that was rated 18. Because that was something. How old are Footballers' Wives? Well, I don't want to know how old they were. I wanted to know the age rating. You can buy Footballers' Wives season 4 in CX. Ooh. Right. Well, duh, of course it's gonna. Alright. But what's the actual age rating, though? That doesn't... Okay. There's a content rating. Oh, this is IMDb. And the Parents Guide for Footballers' Wives. Oh, that's a bit different. Never mind. Not because I was marrying, but wait. It can be sociability. It can, Kirsten. It really can. It really can. Social anxiety can. Didn't show how much anxiety went in Celebrity Big Brother. That would kill me. That would kill me, to be fair. Like, being in an audience, like, I often have, like, not imaginary things, but sort of like, I would love to do something like that. Could I do something like that? Probably not. I would like to think I could. Doing it, however, is something completely different to having the thoughts of it. Um, I just couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to be on stage. I'd decline the offer. Right, Shazzy? I don't know because I've never been in that kind of situation. Never been in that kind of situation. But I think the reason why. Okay, so in the mind of Alpha, what they mean when they say social anxiety, what they mean is they don't want to have a mirror held up to their face of where they went wrong. That's what they mean by social anxiety. They don't like the call out. They've got no problems with walking around London or being on stage or singing in front of people and things like that. They've got no problems there. It's a bit different than online. I think that's what they mean. What they mean by social anxiety is they don't like being called out. That's what they don't like. He was once on TV program as a child, and I hit the back. Really, Shazzy? I says I don't have social anxiety, but I still wouldn't want to be on TV. Well, what was it? I saw a comment somewhere saying that like the TV ad's £10. They were being savage. Jola says, I get anxiety when I go out because I'm in a wheelchair. I get that, Jola. I get that. And I can understand why, society's not great when it comes to disabled people. At all. I like keeping to myself. That's all I'm on. And I think that's it, a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are, they like to keep themselves to themselves. I think with me, sort of like building up to something like even clicking the live stream. Alphabet has no problem with clicking the live stream and being on live 24/7. I've been told this week that it's a minimum wait of 2 years for me to get a budget. Really, Shazzy? God, yeah, like the system in the UK isn't great, especially with what's being rolled out now. Especially with what's being rolled out in the UK right now, Yes. I now want to watch Footballers' Wives. Where can you watch that? I think you can only watch it on like one TV thing, which really annoys me because I used to like that show. God, that's taking me back there. ITVX. Oh, is that where you can watch things? Oh, okay. Well, you can watch things on ITVX apparently. There you go. Netflix don't have it. Try the NHS. They're a team that can help. Yeah, the NHS can help. It's bad everywhere you are too, Kirsten. Yeah, the system is not great. All the reality. Isn't it? No, I don't think I've ever had that one. I think I'd masked too much when I was younger. Maybe pressure of socializing from parents. Now I don't know. I get that, Josie. I've always. You spend your entire life masking, though. That's the problem. And like Kirsten says, masking can be exhausting. It really can. He says he has no friends and their days. Oh, that was it. Yes, that was another thing. Days repeat, but there's nothing to change that. Yes, Kim, I saw one of the people make a comment on that, and I think it was.
I believe this.
Common Sense Talk was making a commentary on that specific thing. When it comes to like days repeating themselves, I think Common Sense Talk brought up a good point. Only you can change that. And I think he comes to the internet to be like, well, it's difficult. I have seen that as well, Shazzy. Let me just respond. Oh, I'm knocking things over. Because I don't have social anxiety. I just don't like a lot of people in one place. Well, busy Lizzie, that can be, yes, that can be another thing. Uh, he was saying drinks tampered with, but once goes to the pub with someone they don't know. Oh yes, Clara, and that's the reason I sort of like a lot of the things he has said, and one of them was a lie. So how can people trust what he says now? Because they lied about one of the SA situations. But Shazzy says Juan ended his life because of E2. Yes, Shazzy, I saw that as well. I saw that they had to end their life because E was taking over. Josie says, when I was 20 and I'm now 20. Yeah, Josie, I get that. I get that. It uses people to make themselves look good. Yes, Jordan, they do. Um, but yeah, I saw that with Juan. I saw that, there was one time when a girl got exiled. And then the second time was E taking over. Yeah, he just on his ADHD and doesn't really know he's masking you. Yeah, it takes time, Kirsten, to know when you are masking and when you're not. I think I spent my life in perpetual maskness that I, but I realise it anymore. Hey, Raggle Fruck, thank you for the heart me. Um, it's difficult. Um, but then again, I don't go out much, so. Was he a mod for Juan? I don't think he was. I don't think he was, but I think somebody else who is a mod for both E and Juan was there. And then they got, yeah, it's been a mess in the past couple of days to witness it. I know when socializing gets to me more, and I look after myself better for that. Yeah, Josie, and I think that's it. Sort of like even if I had to go to a social event, not a social event because I don't do social events, but going outside, even that's tiring. Um, so how did he end his life? I didn't think mods can end lives. Mods generally can't. I don't think mods can. I think Juan may have just got a bit flustered and ended the live. Unless they were there, it'd be that chatter cat. Oh, right, Gemma, there you go. But because there was two, as I said, there were two instances. One with a girl who got booted because she was about to sing and he didn't like it, and then the second time, I think he was actually physically with Juan when that happened. If stuff this is too much for me, it's always noise cancelling headphones. Thank God they exist. Yes, Josie, yes. Thank God noise cancelling headphones exist. Yeah, thank God. I didn't know he was there with him as I only watched them on the FYP awareness pages. Right, Shazzy, yeah, I think they were actually physically there, I thought. Thought he was there and physically ended it. Yeah, Chloe, I thought that too. Yeah, noise cancelling headphones are great. That was E who booted them. You could tell by Juan's face. Yeah, I don't think. Baba says E cut Juan's live. E put her finger on his phone. Yeah, because E doesn't like it because people are making Juan aware of E's bad behavior, and E can't take it. But you can't silence people. You cannot silence people like that. You would get a new phone. Yeah, no, right, Kim. Yeah, I did see something like that. And as I say, I think the first time with the girl, he wasn't there. And I think that's where the mod took out that girl. Because I think mods do have the power to cut other people, not the creator, but cut other people. And then the second time with Juan, he was actually physically there and they cut out the live. and telling him when I'm not on the live, have who you want. Right, Kim. And that this is where he doesn't realize that. I mean, I don't know about their friendship status now. Judging by what he has said over the past 2 days or day or so, I think that friendship has ended because he says that they have no friends, which is his own fault because of how he treats their friends. Done it to everyone, haven't they? And Jackson, yes, exactly right. Let's hope. Well, that's the thing, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens later. Thank you for sharing my life, Mo. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens, later on. Um, he isn't capable of friends, neither is Maria, to be fair. Right, Shazzy, and I think this is where this is the reason why it's sort of like, because the minute you give E any form of criticism or any form of advice, or people bring up the fact of look at what he's done throughout the years, it's difficult because yes, everyone deserves a platform, but at the same time, you sort of sit there and go, at this very point, he brings us all on themselves. Gemma says, I don't want anyone to be lonely, but they bring it on themselves. Right, Gemma, that's the thing, he does deserve friends, but the way he treats other people, you can kind of understand why people don't stick around. The green jealousy monster comes out, right, Shazzy? Well, at least their hearts in, green hearts in the chat. Don't put green hearts in my chat. I prefer purple hearts. Definitely is the colour, and this is where, and like I said it earlier, it's sort of like being the victim and things like that. Fenner says they are very abrasive to criticism and to others who try to right. Fenner, exactly. Is he back with CLA? Not. I saw them go out on a night out, but other than that, I haven't seen it since. And that says he said they only want friends who are beneficial, right, Mel? And that's where friendships need to happen naturally. Like, I'm really good friends with Kirsten. I will turn around and say that, but this is where I'm calling Kirsten out because she's in my chat. I'd also call out my other mod too, but she's not here. TikTok silenced me putting green hearts. Morning, your transgender life. Good morning. But Kirsten I've known for like years. Is it 4 or 5 years now? Years. And like my other friends, sort of like I've known them 13 years. Friendships need to happen naturally. Friendships need to happen naturally. Narcissistic person and right finish, yeah, exactly. And this 5 years, 5 years. 5 years, Kirsten, you haven't murdered me yet. You haven't murdered me yet. Change of subject. We find out if my 4-year-old gets into his school lectures. Oh, that's great, Busy. That's great. That's awesome. Oh, you've been listening to me whilst you work. Oh, what you working on, Venice? He is trying to stay relevant, thinking by going on Celebrity Big Brother, they're a celebrity. Did they tried to go back again, and then didn't get called in or something? Yeah, well, keeping your fingers crossed for your child. Yeah, definitely. Sort of like, did you say you're going to be waiting to hear it? I'm at work, I clean in the NHS. Oh, that must be fun, Venice. That must be fun. That must be fun. That's gotta be fun. Transgender Live. Yes, hello. I've been seeing your videos, by the way, Sean. I've been seeing your videos. Before I lost my leg, I was in a film with Brad Pitt, World War Z. Ooh. That must have been fun. None says, didn't people contact Celebrity Big Brother and complain? Yes, I think people did email. I think people did email them. So, sorry, Josh, I'll catch up later. The fam is visiting in Scotland. Oh, not far from me. Has just gone live. Baby Labson. Wait, okay. It was 3 days of filming. Really, Jolo? That must have been intensive, though. That must have been intensive. You find out tomorrow it's a school subjected around Sens. Best one in there. That would be brilliant, Busy if they get in. That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. Tony says no. No. Some days are simple and easy. Other, depending on what clinics we're in, it could be messy. Oh, right. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. I would say he is back on the snow. Yeah, I would say that. Just from their actions. You was on Lancashire TV on Friday about my nomination for award for work in the LGBTQ community. That's awesome. Your attention of life. I have been meaning to get back into doing some things, not just like. Yeah, I've been meaning to do some things. Also, everyone, if you are, if you are concerned about NHS this year, please understand there's been a lot of temp and voluntary staff have been let go due to funds. Right, Venice, yeah, exactly. The NHS has been hit hard with what the government's done, I guess. It's not been easy. God, like that must have been so good, Shauna. That must have been so good to be like share your experience, to share your experience. Like I've done like national TV. That like must have been good to be able to like use your voice and do it in that way. You work for the NHS too, and we've lost a lot of the agency staff. Really, Mel? God. And it says how some of our full timers who are retirement age are worried about being let go. Yeah, there are troubling times going forward. I think people volunteering is an amazing thing to do. Yeah, like I I used to volunteer many years ago, but I used to volunteer. I've been meaning to get back into it, but like I've been become such a recluse now. It's gonna be difficult to get back out of it. Um, it was it was even asked about those with no voice and the hate we get and just want to live our lives, right, Shona? Yeah, and like that's the thing. So like people just want to live their lives. And like the hate that a lot of people get, and I think people confuse, especially like, 'cause I know the subject was E, but like people conflate opinions with hate, and like it's difficult because there is like when it comes to characters such as he, and he's not the only one. There are other people out there where they're like they conflate criticism with hate when there is actual general hate going on within not just outside the LGBT plus community, but also within. I've seen a lot of gay people go against trans people, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. It's like the LGB without the T nonsense and all that crap. It's like, no. Trans people have supported the LGB for years. And it's just wild. I love the way you speak to people, Jolo. I did, I'm just me. I'm just me. Such a shame. It could also be social for a lot of people. Wait, I'm confused. Sadly, yes, I've been after full time at my current unit for years. Yeah, and that's difficult, with all the government stuff and what they're planning to do. In right now, where's the raccoon? The raccoon got axed, Kim, because Animes, the software I use, updated and it got rid of the raccoon, so I sort of had to create this avatar. So, yeah. That's where the raccoon went. Yeah, yeah, definitely keeping your fingers crossed. Like it's difficult because like there is. Ah, we love the. I know. Everyone loved the raccoon. I loved the raccoon. It got rid of the purple, so I knew something was going on, and then it just automatically went, and I was like, no, no, the raccoon's gone. No. It's like, oh god. Um, Toothless Prince. That's this guy's original channel name because there is the Toothless Prince, and then there is Common Sense Talk. I was just like, well, I know this guy's actual TikTok name, and I'm like, oh, that's it, that's it. Um, exactly, that's all it is. And now we get complaints as they hide away all the time. Right, yeah, it's the NHS is being hit hard. The NHS is being hit hard with different things, and it's difficult because you know I really need to call my hospital. I keep on saying that, and I never do. Um, it's like I, need to call my doctors for a general checkup as well. That was supposed to happen in December. I haven't called them yet. I don't like doctors and I don't like hospitals because like I used to go for a an appointment. Oh, that's now empty. I used to go for an appointment every year, and now I don't. They haven't called me back in the past year or so. Sam, I need to call my GP for myself and Dad, but we both forget. Yeah, I always forget, and then because I don't really like the GP, it's for the autism annual checkup. Because I'm technically classed as a vulnerable adult even now. Um, hey, Crazy Llama, I have to have annual checkups. Do you want to know what I'm doing for my pride when I have all my operations? Oh, what are you doing, Leon? I have not been to a pride. The last pride I went to, you'll get Lauren to. Yes, you'll get our red pen person to remind us. Yes. It's like I must do this. I keep on mentioning. You're going as a drag queen. Oh, that'd be awesome. I need to find my wigs. My wigs are all up, sort of like in storage. Because I used to do live streams on Facebook and then sort of stopped doing it. And then put weight on. I did it during lockdown. So that's going back a bit. I did it during lockdown. I've got costume jewelry, wigs. Don't necessarily have an outfit yet, but I keep on meaning to. Um, I keep on meaning to do it. I keep on meaning to do the makeup as well, but that didn't freaking happen. But you're going in drag. Oh, I'm going to Birmingham. You're going to Birmingham Pride this year, Busy Lizzie. Wow. Hey, Metal Chocobamon. That's hard to say. But hello. Um, Wait, what? Don't understand it then. Disgusting behavior on that part. Yeah, you're going to Birmingham Pride. You're going to Norwich one as it's a closer. Oh, I get that. Thank you for sharing the live, Kirsten. I get that. I think where I am, the Pride doesn't happen till September. At least I think that's what I remember. You'll be on a float working, Busy Lizzie. Oh, right. Um, as a volunteer for the Birmingham Pride, I wanted to do that one year when I was living in Birmingham. But never got round to it. I never got round to it. Will I be going? I don't know. So the last Pride I went to was in 2019. So 2019, and I was like Final Fantasy and Digimon. Metal Chocobamon. That's still hard to say. Oh God. So I was yeah, you brought up Digimon, and now I'm sort of like, wait. There was a thing of sort of like somebody said that the storyline in Digimon is better than Pokemon, which I can agree with. I would say you would look at right, yeah. I used to volunteer with my local pride. London is on the 5th of June. I have the following Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday out to recover. Oh, right, Brennis. Well, you're going to need that time to recover. You're going to need that time to recover, especially with the London one. Like, our Pride isn't that busy because of it being a local area. Like it's we are classed as a city, but it's more like a town. Yeah, yeah, your legs will hate you for it afterwards. Yeah, the last Birmingham Pride I went to was in 2016, I think. I think when I was thinner, back when I was thin and used to dye my hair a lot more. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm sure he will go. I'm sure he will go to London Pride. Yeah, but the last like big Pride that I went to was in 2016. God, that was fucking years ago. Oh my God. Oh wow, yeah. But your legs are gonna hurt, especially doing the London one. Especially doing the London one. I've not. I don't know about London. Do I use barrier creams to help with your scar issue? No, Venice. I can't touch them. I've tried. I've tried different creams, steroid creams, different creams throughout the years. Nothing works, and putting the creams on just hurts more. I mean, yeah, right, Shazzy. That's if he is still in London during June. I mean, we're in April, so yeah, we can go that far. April, May, June, like 2 months. 2 months. They might have moved out of London by then. I mean, considering like people really want to force me out of London. No, I take Gaman, which I looked at the side effects of gabapentin. Like, well, no, I was scrolling through TikTok and I came across a doctor who said the long-term side effects of being on gabapentin, if you're on it for years upon years upon years, it can cause brain fog and different things like that. And I'm like, well, I've been on it since I was a teenager, so. But no, I'm on gabapentin for my keloid scarring, and then topiramate for the constant headache I have, and then mirtazapine for antidepressants. It only takes a day to get evicted. Well, Shazzy, yes, that is technically true. Yeah, you're not wrong. Thank you for the heart me Feral, Cheryl. You're not wrong. And yeah, it does suck, but uh, this is where sort of like I'm in a catch 22 because do I want to get out more and exercise more? Yes. But doing that is going to cause more pain. It's one of those things. Sort of like I was looking up. Because I used to do it. Just like at home workouts. And they used to drain me. I want to know where all their money's coming from. Well, Shazzy, I don't know. It can't be from. Although they do get a lot of gifts from TikTok. So TikTok, Cameo, different things. And sort of like, part of me, it's just, part of me wants to be like, I'm going to take you on a fitness journey. But then also, I know full well that it's going to be very difficult to do so. Yeah, Mel, I did see that. They're doing cameos on live, so why are you paying for a cameo when they're doing it on a live stream? Yeah, I know there's a young girl sending them money. The food they throw away would feed someone for a few days. It would, Shazzy, it definitely would. Cameo, oh no, pass, Kirsten. Oh yeah, sort of like, it's, I don't know, cameos. I mean, do I have a cameo? Yeah, I've got a cameo. I set it up as a joke, and it's been a joke ever since. Ragglefox says, I honestly doubt he's on benefits. He's far too lazy to meet the commitments and would be sanctioned. It depends, Ragglefrog. People have turned around and said that he's on benefits. Oh, God, no. People have said that, are they on benefits? I honestly, unless they show that, don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they would be. Yeah, like a lot of the. Good morning, Jojo. A lot of the pain. My pain levels are all over the freaking shop. You think TickLeap app shows what they earn daily? Yes, Barbara, TickLeap does. Yeah, TickLeap shows what they earn daily. Yeah. And it is pretty accurate, to be fair. I mean, I was watching TickLeap once, and it was literally going up. It was being updated like every minute. So, thank you for liking the live, everybody. Thank you all for tapping the screen. And it definitely is up to date with everything. They had to go because of the shelter. You think, Shazzy? I mean, yes, they may do. Yeah, they may do. Like, this is the thing. I don't know whether they are in a shelter. Yeah, the UC is probs rent money. Probably. I'm now at work. I hope you all have a good. I hope you have a good day at work, Leon. I hope you have a good day. Don't work too hard. The universal credit and things like that will only pay so much. They won't pay all. They used to. They used to. They don't so much nowadays, from what I understand. They don't pay all nowadays. But if they are in sheltered accommodation, then yes, they would get a lot of support. They would get a lot of support. But I don't know whether they are or whether they aren't. Me personally, I haven't looked at it. I don't. People have said that they're in a women's only shelter, and if that's the case, then people are obviously angry and things like that. Jazzy, hello, Jazzy. ESA are a top up on universal credit. Yes, employment support allowance. Yes. People have said a YMCA. Yeah, employment support allowance is a top up on top of universal credit. Yes, it is. Yeah. I don't think it's a woman only shelter because it would be really difficult. You reckon he is on some kind of benefit to pay their rent? Yes, Jazzy. Yeah, I think they're on some kind of benefit. But it's difficult because as someone that is also on benefits, if it's done unethically, God, that's hard to say, unethically, then yes, people would have a problem. Yes, people would have a problem. He's only got 6 months that really, Joel. Well, and they've been there, February. They moved out on their birthday, so yes. Yes, I have heard his understanding of social anxiety. Yes, so anxiety whilst being social. Yeah, I've heard that. They have own bathroom and kitchen. That's not cheap in London. Right, Shazzy, no, but if it is a what's it called? Sheltered accommodation, then they would get a bathroom and kitchen, because I did when I was technically made homeless myself. I was in a homeless shelter above an estate agent's for about 3 months ish. No, yeah, about like 3 or 4 months ish. But that was in Birmingham, so even a tiny en suite bed sit in London would be mad expensive. It looks like a decent room. It does look like a decent room. It does look like a decent room. Hey Shazzy, yeah, I'm doing well. I hope you are too. But yeah, I do think sort of like it's difficult because so all defo points to the benefits thought. Yes, it does point that way, and if it does, and it depends on the benefit. It depends on what benefit it is. And I know with Pip, you have to be reassessed every few years. I heard they were in the housing where they get help slash training, etc., but doesn't seem so. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't seem like they're in one of those kind of accommodations. He was in a women's refuge with my son for 6 months. If other places are full, they will place men there. It happens. I don't want to really jazzy. Oh, right, okay. It all depends, doesn't it? His last place in Barnstable was a semi-supported accommodation, if I remember correctly. Yes, yeah, but remember they'd be, their whole persona to move to London was to do acting school and do that, which they haven't done yet. We're now in April, February, March, April, May. April, 3 months. They've been there almost 3 months now. From my understanding, they've been there 3 months. So if it is a 6 month lease, then they'd have another 3 months top of that. And it all depends. It all depends on what he wants to do. All jokes aside, he doesn't have the basic life skills to live completely independently. Right, Raggle Frock. And, from even, just covering a bit of E today and, covering E for the past couple of months, no, they don't. Whether that's played on is another matter. I don't think they will live completely independently. I did for a good couple of years. Then a friend moved in, then partner moved in, then we moved. And it's different. This is the thing. It's sort of difficult because the way he handles things is very. We all learn as we get older. Yes, we do, Coops. Yeah, we do. We do, yeah. And it's sort of like this, but you can kind of see we're in repeated pattern territory when it comes to like the thing with autism and the hormone things again. We're all in that repeat cycle, but it's almost as if when you sort of sit there and when you look at, and he's not the only one, there are others out there where you can see where they are playing dumb. You know what I mean? You can kind of see where they're playing dumb because in other aspects, you can see it. I think he's very FASD, sorry, that's hard to say, and was never taught mental coping skills, and narcissism came out of his need to be accepted. Right, Cass? Yeah, that's a very good point. They won't accept it. And this, we saw the clip about them saying about bullying and things like that. This is where they do grasp some things. They do grasp it. FAS, sorry. Yeah, I get that, Cass. And this is where sort of like you can kind of see like, yes, I think he does play a bit dumb to manipulate people. Yeah, it's learned behavior to get sympathy and attention. But now they don't like the fact that they are getting the attention they're getting. Coop says they can cook, wash dishes. I think personally they are just lazy and mum did everything. Well, Coops, we saw that. We saw that with not Barnstable. I mean, we did see with Barnstable. Barbican. That's hard to say. Barbican. We saw that at the Barbican where their mum came in and did everything for them. You think he is very manipulative? Yes. But I think Maria has ABUSE'd them and then enabled them. Yeah, I do think that, Cass. I do think sort of like they feel this is where sort of like they were bullied throughout their childhood. And I get that. I understand that. Um, the amount of times I hop on wrong trains. I've done that too, Phyllis. I've hopped on the wrong train a few times. I've hopped on the wrong train, got on the wrong part of a train. Yeah. This is where sort of like I've travelled on the train. I like to have, I like to plan things. I have to plan it out. Have to plan it out. Time, date. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know what carriage to get on and all this stuff. Because the amount of times I've got it wrong. Louise says he was the bully as well. Let's not forget that as well. Right, Louise. And that's where sort of like there, and that synopsis of bullying is sort of like, well, you've been a bully yourself. And they do bully people repeatedly. Cass says my mum was an addict and I went / through it, but I raised myself. I don't think he had that chance. No, Cass, I don't think that too. I think, but he does have some coping skills. What I think it is, because I've seen earlier clips of them, is they've rage baited their audience. So, and they've treated everyone like crap. So now the backlash. What I don't think they have social anxiety. I don't think any of that. What I think it is they don't like the backlash that's been caused by their actions and what they say. And Vanessa says, yeah, my dyslexia when I'm new places. Oh goodness, it's harder. I'm worried about being in way places. Yeah, right, Vanessa. I get that as well. Vanessa says, Jola says, I was bullied by my parents, but I didn't turn out like them. I thought my children. You told your children right from wrong. Right, Jolo, I get that, yeah. Cass says, he needs help, straight and simple. Won't get it because he's too proud and narcissistic now. Yes, he will not get the help, no. They definitely don't have social anxiety. I've had it over 20 years. It's horrific when it hits. Oh, Jazzy, I know. When it hits. There's a lot of this is where it's sort of like could I do what he did and go on Celebrity Big Brother live? No, I don't. I'd like to think I could, but no. And I couldn't go walking around London on my own. I did go walking around Birmingham on my own in my younger years. I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten worse. I've watched E since their Facebook days. Nothing has changed. Right, Barbara? Yeah, nothing really has changed. And repeating the same cycle. I hope you have a good day too, Mel. Got to get sorted for work. Well, I hope you have a good day at work, Mel. I won't be on live much longer. I was only meant to do like an hour long live, and I'm almost at 2 hours. Worse is when a parent is like, I'll teach you, you do the same thing. Nope, it's not their standard. Right, finish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you break the cycle, don't you? It's sort of like, yeah, you sort of try and break the cycle. Narcissists live in the same cycle over and over. Right, Cass? Like, we're doing the autism thing again. I don't understand why they just don't go and get go and get a diagnosis, if you know what I mean. I don't know. He just does all this because he needs the validation he never gets from his parents. Right, Jazzy? And he has said that. They don't even have a doctor's. I thought they did. I thought they'd have to, right? Especially if they're moving into sheltered accommodation. One of the first things when we moved up here was we need to get a doctor. He said self-diagnosis is valid in the UK. Yes, Crazy Alarm, it is if you're going to get a diagnosis. Self-diagnosis is valid because of the waiting time. He's not wrong in that sense. The problem comes in when he's shown their medical records, not gone to a GP, not gone to go and get this diagnosis. It is a self-diagnosis because there is constant conversation in the autism community on whether self-diagnosis is valid or not. There is constant back and forth with that. Yes, it is valid. Self-diagnosis is valid only if you are going to get a physical diagnosis. Whereas he hasn't done that. He's shown the medical records. If you are waiting, if you're on a waiting list, that it's fine. You're in process of proper diagnosis. Right, Venice, exactly. Exactly. It's not an alternative to actual diagnosis when you fear they'll say you're wrong. Right, Rugglefruck. And that's the thing. Self-diagnosis is valid only if you're going to get a diagnosis. King says, as a parent of older children, he has no interest in moving on. They like playing poor me card. But how long can that go on for? Because like throughout the years, he's pissed off so many people now. Like, I get it. A lot of people don't respond and don't, do all of that kind of thing. But how long? Like, he's running out of people in the UK. Yes, there are other, obviously, like, Kirsten's from New Zealand and, like, no, Kirsten's from New Zealand and I nearly said Australia, which, no, that's not the right thing to say. Kirsten's from New Zealand and other places are from other people are from other areas, like New Zealand, Australia, America. Like, but eventually he's gonna run out of people. And another thing that we need to understand is the way TikTok works is new people come onto this platform every day. Like, because he doesn't put 18 plus on, new kids come on this app every single day. So they are being introduced to Alpha for the first time. This is why I don't think he is trans. It's all for attention and needs female validation and hiding back. Yes, Jazzy, I do think he does hide behind that a lot. This says they would be at record of it, medical records, even if they were going to be seen. Right, yeah, they would have, yeah. Bob says he never contacted adult services at 16 to sort out autism. No, Barbara, they didn't. No. I keep tapping myself out of the light. That's okay, Michael Frank. Hello, live. Hello. This week's new character is what? Well, yeah, Shazzy, yes. Victoria says, cry wolf too many times. If anything does happen, no one will believe them. Right, Victoria, and that's the problem. The drama on this app has been disgusting. Yeah, Shazzy, yeah, there have been a lot of different things. Yeah, the drama has been wild. Excuse me. I've been seeing, a lot what he's been doing. Right, yeah, John. He targets kids because they don't have a voice of reason or understanding yet and easily influenced. Yes, Jazzy. Yeah. That's exactly why. Thank you for the heart me coops. That's exactly why. Yeah. That's exactly why they target kids and vulnerable people because they don't necessarily understand the real things, like the whole blood test thing. When he went for their blood test on April 2nd and it's now changed to like vocal this and this, that and the other. Smoking a bong water. Here's my other troll. Kirsten's my first one because Kirsten was in here first. Hey, Smoking, fancy seeing it. Yes, I know. Fancy meeting you. I know, right? TikTok is now a live soap opera. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong from what I've seen. I'm a DNG. I was tested due to have mental health and being sectioned that how I got mine. Right, Louise, and I was diagnosed as a young child. And then had a brain injury that brought it out more. They said the bloods were done to test for rugs. But even that's the issue though. Why would you need the blood test? Because I looked it up. Usually, if you're going to have a an appointment with gender clinic, they'd want to do a psych evaluation first and then do a blood test. You know what I mean? This is where, and like April 30th, that's changed so many times now of like what it actually is going to be. Um, it's just wild, and this is where sort of like I don't believe it's going to happen on April 30th. They're going to come up with an excuse. They already tried it. They're not going to pass the mental health evaluation. Well, no, I don't think so. The recent blood test, he said last night that one was for a, and that's what I thought it was. Michael Frog, as someone that, if you are active, like in that way, if you are active in that way, the recommendation, especially if you are having unprotected activity, um, even if you are having protected activity, as a gay man, um, you'd usually want to get your bloods done it's either every 3 months or every 6 months. If you are active, even if you're not in the gay community, it's always best, especially if you are very, very active. It's recommended every 3 to 6 months to go to a clinic to have your bloods done. And that's what I thought that was. That's what I thought that was. Wrap it before you slap it, right, Smokey? It says, I only went on ADHD meds in December after waiting 2.5 years. Was on it for 5 weeks. Had to come. Oh, really, Louise? Oh. So let's be honest, it's all BS. E will never transition because E isn't true to themselves, and E knows he had to come off meds due to pregnancy. All right, Louise. Oh, wow. But yes, Jazzy, yeah, like, there are a lot of things where, and half of us been trying to say the same thing for the past 5 years. Girl, if you're going to do it, do it. At this point, just do it. Shazzy said the blood they had was a routine injection. Sorry, infection, not injection. Infection count markers to make sure they on right antibiotics. I'm not going to say anything to that. This is where their retelling of stories is very. Oh yeah, they had that cyst. Was it a cyst or a boil? It was a cyst or a boil in their private area. Not that we needed to know that on the internet, but we do. This says, I really think E isn't trans, but actually identifies as the character Alphabet, not a trans woman. A lot of people have said that, Busy. A lot of people have said that. Penny says, my poor co-workers have dealt with me when the ADHD med supply was poop the day I started. Oh, really, Penny? I can imagine, you know.